Hi friends, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my bathroom. Today I really wanted to do just kind of a casual Q&A, especially after my recent video announcing my pregnancy. Ta-da! I originally was like thinking of doing this Q&A video while getting ready. But then, first of all, I'm pregnant and I'm tired. Okay, second of all, I felt like just in case any more tears come, I think it would be better for me to be taking off my makeup than putting makeup on. So here we are. You guys have been so sweet, by the way. Thank you to everybody who watched that announcement video. If you missed it, I'll have it linked down below for you guys. But I just am so thankful. And so I asked you all over on Instagram if there were some questions you wanted me to answer or chat about. And there's some really sweet ones that are coming in. So we're gonna get into it. Before we do too much of a deep dive, I need to get cozy, okay? So I'm gonna put my jammies on, I'm gonna put my hair up, take off my jewelry, and we're gonna take this makeup off while we chat. So I'll be right back. All right, I just put my jammies on. These are the best, by the way. These are from Free People. I actually had these from before I got pregnant, which I feel like is always the best when there's clothes that you can use throughout basically your entire pregnancy, then postpartum, then in between, instead of buying like a proper maternity, outfit. But yeah, these are so cute and they're nice and loose. They have matching little bottoms. If they still have these around, I'll link them for you guys. They come in tons of different patterns. I have about 3 pairs of these now because they just make me feel like sort of put together before bed, even when I'm pregnant and in my 3rd trimester. So I'm always out of breath and I'm not feeling quite as put together, these days. I'm just gonna take my jewelry off really fast and then we'll get to answering some of your guys' questions. This bracelet stack is quite the thing to take on and off, but I wear these every day. Somebody actually made these for my whole family after my sister passed away, and all of us wear them basically every day. And then more recently, I went to Nashville with my husband Tylen for some really fun upcoming RAVIE beauty products, and they had a Little Words Project store in Nashville, and we both made matching bracelets that say RAVIE beauty on them. Tylen made one that has like, it's more masculine, it has like blue on it. Mine's sparkly and pink, but I love it. I feel like I can't wash my face without one of these little headbands. These are just from Amazon. They're the best. All right, let's pull up your questions. You guys are so nice. So many of you guys are just saying congratulations. Like, Sarah, you're so sweet. You said no question, just praying for your family and sending you congratulations. That's so nice. And then another one of you said, I'm just so happy for your family. You guys are so sweet. Seriously, thank you all so much. Someone said, how are you doing? Congratulations. You're so nice to ask. I feel like every day is a little different, but overall, I would say I'm doing well. I'm doing okay. I feel like if it weren't for the grief on top of everything, pregnancy-wise, like I feel like I'm doing pretty good. But as I talked about in my last video, or my pregnancy announcement video, I feel like there's just a lot more to navigate, honestly. And every day is so different, you guys. Like every day is kind of unpredictable when it comes to grief anyway. I just don't always know what's coming and how I'm going to react, or like what's going to trigger me into missing Haley a ton. So all of that is kind of up in the air. But pregnancy wise, like 3rd trimester, I'm feeling pretty good. 2nd trimester is by far my favorite because I feel like it's when you get your energy back. 1st trimester knocks you out, at least for me anyway. So 2nd trimester I feel like is fun because your bump's not too big yet, your organs aren't quite squished yet to where you're super uncomfortable, but you start getting a little bump, and it just is really fun. But now that I'm in my 3rd trimester, I'm starting to slow down again a little bit, which I think is fine. And it's really fun because you can really feel the baby kicks and things like that, which is so sweet. Someone asked, how is your sister's cute little family doing? You're so nice to ask that as well. I'm assuming you are talking about Haley's family, her husband and her 2 boys. I feel like it's hard to answer that question because obviously in their situation, it's like, how good could they be doing? But I will say, Caden, Haley's husband, is just the most phenomenal human being. The way that he has like shown up for those boys on a daily basis is beyond me. Like, I don't understand how he does it. He's the sweetest. He's the sweetest human being in the world. And honestly, it just kills me that he has to go through this. I can't even fathom and imagine. Like, my pain, losing my own sister, is so deep and so hard for me to navigate. And to think about it being his soulmate and the person that, like, he wanted to spend the rest of his life with and build a family with, you know? It just feels unfair. But they're so sweet, and Caden is the best dad in the world. I just know like Haley's watching him and is just so thankful for him, and like so thankful for everything that he's doing for those sweet boys. Oh, I love them so much. I love them so much. Let me add some water to my cleanser. Hold on. This cleanser is a little newer to me, but I'm liking it so far. It's the Is Clinical Cleansing Complex. I find that it does a really good job removing all my makeup, and I filmed another video today, so I was wearing a little more makeup than usual, and I feel like I just need a deeper cleanse because of that. Okay, someone asked, what is the gap between your babies and what made you feel ready to try again? Okay, so the gap is gonna be, let's see, my baby girl will be 3 in December, he's due in September, so a little over 2.5. So it'll be almost 3-year age gap, which honestly is bigger than I planned or thought that it would be. But, you know, you quickly realize how much is out of your control when you try to have a family, and how you can't like just time things like that. It doesn't work like that. Hold please while I rinse this off. I feel like it took me a solid 1.5 years, I would say, to feel like equipped enough to even start trying again. Like, having a baby honestly changes a lot physically, and my recovery was a little bit longer than I anticipated, and just, you know, honestly, the adjustment to motherhood took longer than I thought. So by the time I felt like ready, it was further along than the age gap I always had in my mind, if that makes sense. But we had been trying for a while, actually, with no luck, so I was just trying to be patient with God's timing and everything. And it took longer than I thought, and I actually experienced a miscarriage in the middle of it back last October, which was a whole other thing, and it's such a difficult thing to navigate, you know, especially when you want to grow your family so badly. So it's just not as straightforward as it seems. But we're really thankful that we finally got blessed with a sweet baby. So somebody asked, best advice for a first-time mom. Honestly, I feel like I think of 2 things. The first one being that you don't have to have everything figured out all at once. I remember with my first pregnancy, like feeling a little overwhelmed with all the things that I didn't know about motherhood, but then it's like, well, yeah, how am I supposed to know anything about motherhood without being a mom? So much of what you learn, you have to learn through your own experience, and you can prep as much as you possibly can. You know, you can get advice from people and you can read your books, but it's not until you're actually in the middle of it that you really learn what you like to do and what works for you and your family, and how you like to operate as a mom. So that's my first piece of advice, is just like, don't get overwhelmed or worry about all the things that come with motherhood, except for the things that are kind of right in front of you. Take things slowly. And then I feel like my second piece of advice, and something I almost wish somebody would have told me, is I don't really know how to say this, it's not very straightforward, but it's just around expectations. I feel like expectations when I first became a mom, because you hear so many different people's stories and opinions, good or bad, right? And it sets your expectations for what things should be like or feel like when it comes to motherhood. And so many of those things were more hurtful than helpful I realized because even like the good advice or the bad advice, it sets expectations, and you kind of have like, you picture in your mind, or you try to as much as possible, picture in your mind how you're going to feel or how you're going to be as a mom. And if something doesn't go the way that it did for somebody else, there's one of the two things that happens. Like, either the expectation was that things would go more smoothly, and then in your experience it doesn't, and you feel disappointed. Or on the flip side, somebody's experience was more negative surrounding a certain topic, and maybe you have a more positive experience. And I noticed that like I had sometimes some unnecessary anxiety around things that didn't end up happening to me just because of other people's experiences, which everyone is entitled to their own experiences, right? But for me, I would just be aware of your expectations and the way that those form in your mind. I feel like that's something I'm going to be trying to do differently the second time around. I'm using this SHANI DARDEN Rescue Serum with 10% azelaic acid. I asked ChatGPT to help me with my skincare routine because during pregnancy, you know, you can experience quite a few skin changes, and also you're limited to certain ingredients. So I was just asking Chat what actives I could add that were pregnancy safe, that would kind of help even out my skin tone and my texture, and azelaic acid was one of them. This is something I already had in my collection, so I've been using this more frequently, and I feel like it's really doing the most. I'm also back on like a good vitamin C in the morning, and I feel like it's really helping. Someone asked, why wait so long to announce? So happy for you. Honestly, this was longer than I ever planned as well, and it has to do with my announcement video, losing my sister, the health, the journey that I went on, answers we were trying to find in between. And then honestly, I just felt like I needed time for my brain to process everything that I had been going through. I now finally feel like I'm in a position and a headspace, and honestly, health-wise, have clarity, like enough clarity to share, you know? So that's why. Wasn't something I ever planned. Back in January when I found out I was pregnant, you know, I assumed it would be a very different type of announcement and timing would be very different, but here we are. It is what it is. I'm doing a nice rich moisturizer for tonight. This is from DIEUX. It's the Instant Angel. It's so nice, especially for just extra hydration at night. Someone said, after watching the video, I have to know what mascara you had on. Didn't run at all. That mascara is one that I am developing for RAVIE Beauty, my beauty brand, and let me tell you, what a year it's been to do cry tests galore with that mascara, and it honestly withstands quite a bit, as you saw. It really doesn't run, so yeah, that's something that I've been working on for a long time. It's not going to launch this year, but it's hopefully going to be ready in the earlier half of 2026. Fingers crossed. You guys, like, you don't even realize, I guess, until you do this, like until you make makeup, how long it takes to make makeup. Oh my gosh, like you can sign off on a formula, which the process of that is its own thing, right? And then manufacturing can take forever, just depending on, you know, the manufacturer and how backed up they are with their orders. So I'm glad you noticed the mascara. I've been working hard on that one. Someone said, can you do an update video down the road about how the transition from 1 to 2 was? Absolutely. I feel like that's something that I will definitely update you on as we go. So stay tuned for sometime after September for that one. Someone asked, is it a boy or a girl? It's a boy. I mentioned that like in the middle of my YouTube video. It was not like front and center. So there's been a few questions actually from people asking like, do you know what you're having? So yes, we're having a boy, which I'm so thankful for. It's gonna be fun because my first is a girl. So one of each is kind of fun. Just gonna do a little eye cream. I've been rotating my eye creams. The one I grabbed today is this ONESKIN eye supplement. Got some peptides in there, which is nice for the eye area. Okay, do you have any names picked out? We actually do, and I don't feel like I'm gonna change it. We have one specifically that we have loved for a long time, and it actually does have a deeper meaning and a bit of a connection to my sister Haley, which I think is special. So yeah, I feel like we have a name that we really love, and I don't see it changing. So How is your daughter feeling about being a big sister? She's honestly so cute and she's so excited about it. She always asks to see baby brother. She's always like hugging my belly and giving him kisses. And she always has the best ideas. Like she'll just be like, when baby brother comes out, maybe I can hold his hand. Like she'll say things like that. And it's just the sweetest thing ever, ever, ever. She's gonna be the cutest big sister, seriously. Is that your third? No, this is my second baby. So again, I had my baby girl in December 2022, and this is my second. Right now, honestly, two's feeling good. A boy and a girl, to me that does feel good, so we'll see. Someone says, so thrilled you're having a boy. What are you most looking forward to with him? Honestly, there's a few things. I am excited to experience being a boy mom because I feel like it's gonna help me relate to my sister Haley since she had two boys. But also, I feel like I know how fast the newborn stage goes by now after having my baby girl. So I'm looking forward to hopefully like soaking that in a little bit more. And I did my best with my baby girl, but it was also new, you know? So I'm hoping that like I can really soak in that extra time with him. And I'm excited to see who he looks like. I kind of am hoping that he's a spitting image of Thailand in a way, with a sprinkle of my sister Haley. I hope somehow he has like curly hair like her or something like that. I don't know. But it's just so fun. And I'm excited to meet him. It's gonna be so sweet. Someone said, congratulations. I remember last time your morning sickness was bad. How was this time? Well, the morning sickness was still bad, but with him, it actually ended earlier than with my baby girl, which was interesting. So some people, like when they have a boy, they notice a difference in their morning sickness versus a girl. Mine was still the same intensity. It just didn't last as long, which was interesting. So that was nice, I guess. I think it lasted about 4 or 5 weeks longer with my girl than it did with him, which I'm thankful for, navigating the grief at the same time as all the nausea. I'm happy that it didn't last quite as long this time. I feel like my skincare routine went by so fast. By the way, this is the Lush Sleepy Body Lotion. Oh my gosh. It smells so good and it's just so calming. I love applying it just to like my neck and chest at night for the smell. It's honestly super soothing and it leaves a gorgeous glow, but it's so comforting. I don't know. I love it so much. I was not able to use this in the first trimester. Like smells in the first trimester were too strong. But now that I'm in my third trimester, subtle scents like this are really calming. So I love using that as my night routine. The last question I'm gonna read is, what is or are your new weird cravings? You know, it's funny, like I feel like I have the typical pregnancy cravings, like cereal. You guys, like I do not eat cereal, but the way that I crave a bowl of cereal is diabolical. It's crazy. So I eat cereal quite frequently at night though, not in the morning. Ice. We got an ice maker, you guys, that changed my life. It's the best pebbled ice. I'll link it down below. It was an investment, okay? And listen, my husband is very particular with his drinks and like the ice in it. So he's the one who did his research and invested in this ice maker. Prior to being pregnant, I don't like ice. That's what's so bizarre about this, but I can't live without this ice machine, you guys. So I'm gonna have my husband find it and we'll pop it up here and then link it for you guys down below. It's phenomenal. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. So I do eat a lot of ice. And then, oh gosh, you guys, I've had like one solid pregnancy craving and it's driving me bonkers because it's out of stock, okay? I fell in love with these Trader Joe's strawberry sour belts, okay? And again, like I don't eat candy, but there's something about these that are just so phenomenal. I don't have a Trader Joe's near me. So my younger sister, Lindsay, I blame her because she's the one who got me hooked on this. So I'm hooked on these sour strawberry belts, except they go viral on TikTok and they sell out everywhere and they're not going to be back in stock until the end of July. I have been beside myself because I just want my sour strawberry belts back. And I feel like if I knew they were going to sell out, I would have rationed them a little bit more. But I've been without them for a few months now. I can't wait for the end of this month so I can restock my pantry with the best sour candy I've ever had in my life. So I would say those 3 cravings are the most obvious for me this pregnancy. There are so many other great questions, you guys. I feel like I'd be yapping your ears off for like an hour. Let me know if you want to see more Q&A type videos. I'm also gonna make like more short form content over on Instagram and TikTok surrounding this pregnancy. Maybe I'll continue to answer some questions in that way, or if you enjoy this video, I can do a part 2. Let me know. I'm also planning on filming like a pregnancy favorites video because I have had some phenomenal discoveries this pregnancy with clothes and things like that that I've just found really helpful. So stay tuned for that content as well. But overall, thank you guys so much. Seriously, just for like your kindness, like your comments have been so wonderful. Your outpouring of love and your understanding. I've also seen some comments of several of you guys saying that you're pregnant as well, whether you're due in September, some October, November, December. I've seen quite a few of those. So congratulations to any of you guys who are also expecting. It's fun to know that like we can be on this journey together. Oy vey, the way I'm so out of breath. This is the kind of stuff that like I always had to cut out of my videos because you guys obviously didn't know until a few days ago that I'm pregnant, but the way I huff and puff, the way that my diaphragm is getting more and more restricted and I'm just winded all the time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have all my little skincare that I used today linked down below. I feel like this was a fun way to chat with you guys. I know it's the opposite of getting ready, but it's just what I was in the mood for today, so hopefully you were in the mood for a video like this as well. Again, I will have my pregnancy announcement video in the description box in case you missed it. I go into much more detail and just catch you up on a lot of things in that video, so I'll have that link there if you guys want to watch more. And yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you to everybody who asked such sweet questions. I love you all so much, and I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Bye. Wait, is that normal? Yeah. Bye. Alcohol. Pregnancy brain. We'll talk about that in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.